Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coffee Nuance, the show that's here to enlighten you and make you question everything you thought you knew. Today, we're diving deep into the Marilyn Monroe effect. And guess what? It might just be the secret to unlocking your inner superstar. Yeah, I'm serious, all you skeptics. Now, the Marilyn Monroe effect claims that by simply changing your body language, you can go from an average Joe or Jane. Hang on a second. Just making sure we're live. Now we're live. Okay. You can go from an average Joe or Jane to a captivating and confident version of yourself. And I know it sounds like a bunch of BS, but let's not dismiss it too quickly. Turns out psychologists have been onto something all along. Confidence and attractiveness really do go hand in hand. Think about it. Marilyn Monroe didn't become an icon by accident. She exuded a unique aura, a magnetic charm that drew people in. And guess what? It wasn't just her good looks, but clearly that had a lot to do with it. It was also how she carried herself, the way she smiled, the kindness she radiated, the charisma she oozed from every pore. It was like magic. Now, I'm not saying you need to start dressing like a 50s bombshell or serenade presidents in a skimpy dress. But what if we took a page from Marilyn's book and embraced some of her timeless qualities? Imagine a world where we all smiled a little more, treated people with genuine kindness, and carried ourselves with confidence and grace. Sounds pretty appealing, doesn't it? Here's the best part. It's not just for the ladies. No, the Marilyn Monroe effect transcends gender boundaries. Guys, you too can tap into your inner Monroe and unleash your irresistible charm. Think about it as the James Bond effect, minus the gadgets and spy missions. It's about owning your presence, exuding confidence, making a lasting impression wherever you go. So how do we channel our inner Marilyn? Well, it's as simple as practicing good posture, making eye contact, embracing a positive mindset, and did I mention smiling? It's like a superpower that instantly transforms your face from dull to dazzling. Who doesn't want a dazzling face, right? Now, I know some skeptics might argue, but Tom, isn't that just fake it till you make it? Well, sure, there's an element of that. But here's the thing. Confidence is contagious. When you start carrying yourself with poise and self-assurance, people respond to it. It's like a ripple effect, spreading positivity, drawing others towards you. Plus, the more you practice, the more it becomes a natural part of who you are. So it's not about faking it. It's about embracing and cultivating your own brand of magnetism. Let's not forget the added bonus. The Marilyn Monroe effect is not just about how others perceive you. It's about how you feel about yourself. By tapping into your inner star power, you're boosting your own self-esteem, embracing your individuality, stepping into a version of yourself that radiates confidence. It's a self-improvement with a sprinkle of stardust. So everybody, let's give the Marilyn Monroe effect the credit it deserves. It's not just a fleeting TikTok trend or gimmick to sell self-help books. It's a reminder that we all have the power to embrace ourselves, to embrace our unique qualities, to captivate the world with our own brand of magic. Now remember, if you're going to try the Marilyn Monroe effect, just make sure you don't accidentally end up with the Charlie Chaplin effect. That mustache might not be as alluring as you think. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. I think we've got the streaming issues knocked out. Knock on wood. We'll see. We'll see if that maintains or not. But today, June 14th. How about that? And my name's Tom Coffee, at Coffee and Nuance on all the socials. We're streaming live every day, Monday to Friday, YouTube and on Rumble, rumble.com/Coffee Nuance. TokTok.com/live. And we're talking about the Marilyn Monroe effect. And why did this come up? You know, every Wednesday I like to talk about kind of a big idea. Get you to think about something different. And recently, a psychology student named Makella Wilson used her TikTok platform to talk about the Marilyn Monroe effect and this psychological phenomenon that explains how Marilyn transformed herself from a regular person to this iconic figure. And so the effect suggests that confidence and body language play a significant role in being attractive. So some of the tips that you can do to emulate Monroe is smiling more, being kind, maintaining good posture, making eye contact. So these are all positive things that we can work on. And it positively impacted the self-esteem of the people that tried it. So that might be something that you might consider. Now, the Marilyn Monroe effect is part of a broader trend on TikTok where mentalities like abundance mindset and a money mindset are discussed. And these mindsets are aimed to change one's thinking and perception of oneself. Some people find success with these types of self-help, but it really does fall into the realm of self-help, and it might not work for everyone. And what's interesting is a lot of this self-help stuff is really aimed at a female audience, and it kind of raises questions about, I don't know, being women trying to figure out who they are individually, but it has an effect on men as well. We see a lot of self-improvement type stuff in social media for men, especially young men, to work on how to be more confident, how to be an alpha, how to get more out of life, all that kind of stuff. This falls into that. But what do you think about this idea about Marilyn Monroe, the Marilyn Monroe effect? I do like the idea is if we all worked on it, if we were all a little nicer to everyone, if we smiled more, it does have an impact on society in general. I know, I'll give you a quick little thing. I know that when I taught school, when I taught kids, I had the power that I could impact how a kid felt that day. If I wanted a kid to feel terrible, I could do it. It was so easy. And I know that I could walk around and just look at someone's paper, give them a big smile and say, "Oh, I like how you're working on that." And just give a smile. And it had a real positive impact on other people. You know, I think about it in my own life, and I've heard this told to me when I'm out in public. I do really well at like cocktail parties. I really do well. These kinds of events, I'm just able to be another person, to be more charming, be happier, be more interesting and charismatic. And what happens is my friends that have seen me in those situations, they say, "How come you're not like that all the time?" You know, why are you such a jerk? Or why are you so negative when you're around me? But when you're around these people you don't know, you just kind of, turn on the charm or whatever. And it got me to really think about it. Because we should really be being that positive Marilyn Monroe type person around the people we care about, right? And it turns out that often the people that we care about the most, we act like the biggest jerks to. You know, it's we just take them for granted. And so that's why I wanted to bring this up today, for you to embrace your own Marilyn Monroe and see how it works. It is glad to see that we got a number of people in the chat. Remember, stick around for the after show where I'm going to be going through all of the chat. I'm a very single-minded person, and it's hard for me to do more than one thing at a time, but I'm trying. I'm still working on it. We're all getting better at that. Well, we got a great show for you today. A couple of stories and some good news at the end. So let's get to the first story. So here's an update about the former Ukrainian minister who allegedly paid Joe Biden a hefty sum. Talk about a disappearing act. Zlochevsky pulls the ultimate magic trick, vanishing into thin air like a Ukrainian Houdini. They should rename the game, Where in the World is Mykola Zlochevsky? Maybe he's taking tips from Carmen Sandiego or enjoying a Mai Tai on the beach in Monaco. I guess when the heat is on, the best strategy is out of sight, out of Ukraine. So here's the story. Republican lawmakers allege that Mykola Zlochevsky, the founder of Burisma Holdings, paid President Joe Biden $5 million and holds audio recordings as insurance for a pay-for-play scheme. This is what we talked about yesterday. Zlochevsky's current location's unknown, but he reportedly fled to Monaco in 2019 to escape embezzlement charges in Ukraine. He's accused of corruption during his time as a Ukrainian minister and was investigated for money laundering. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, served on Burisma's board and received substantial payments. Senator Chuck Grassley's report highlights potential conflicts of interest. Grassley recently claimed that a foreign national, likely Zlochevsky, paid Joe Biden and Hunter Biden $5 million each and possesses audio recordings. This information comes from an FBI informant document. So that is the news. Yesterday we talked about, that they dropped the news that the accusation that Joe Biden took $5 million himself from someone at Burisma. Turns out now they've named who that is. This guy's in hiding. But apparently, he's got these audio recordings. Now, again, will anything come of this? You would think that if this is true, big if true, right? This should be the biggest news in the world. But I guess we're just going to talk about Trump. Trump. Orange man bad. All that good stuff. So I'm just countering that story a little bit. And I'm still predicting. I don't want to be so cynical, but I guess I'm still going to predict nothing's going to come from this. But I could be wrong. And right now, you can go into the comments, even if you're watching on demand, video on demand later. Put in your prediction. Is anything going to come of this story? This $5 million bribe to Joe Biden, allegedly from this Burisma founder? Let me know in the comments. And then, if it comes true, if your prediction comes true in the future, we've got time-stamped evidence that you were 100% correct. So let me know your predictions in the comments. And now, let's get to something else going on in journalism. Move over journalists. TikTok influencers are taking over the news game. Who needs factual reporting like CNN? When you can get breaking news delivered with a side of dance moves. Who needs facts when you can be fabulous? Hashtag Newstagram. So here's the story. TikTok influencers and celebrities are now the primary news source for young people. Overtaking journalists. According to a Reuters Institute report, traditional news outlets struggle to engage with younger audiences on platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, is that still a thing? And Instagram. Facebook's influence is decreasing while TikTok's popularity among 18 to 24-year-olds is growing. This shift poses a fundamental challenge for the news industry as younger generations have different interests. Media companies rely on subscribers and ad revenue face cancellations and renegotiations. So, yeah, the kids, and I think anybody under 25 is a kid, so I don't mean anything disparaging about that. It's what happens. You get older. Anyone under 25 is a kid. You know, back in the day, if you were under 25, you couldn't even rent a car. So you're a kid. But they're getting their news from TikTok? From TikTok? I don't know if that's really much worse than, you know, a while ago it seemed like young people were getting their news from The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, back when he had his show. I think TikTok seems to be a step down in in that, just because the videos are so short. And it gets me to think, what am I doing on this boomer YouTube, right? This long form thing. I should be making TikToks, but maybe I could put in like a facial, you know, what's it called? You know, put in on a different face, a filter. Put on a filter of like a much younger, better looking me, and then I could be talking about the news and maybe having some influence on people. What do you think? Is that something I should pursue? But this looks like it's a real problem. But it does tell me that this coming election, I think the difference really could be TikTok. And it is controlled by a government that's not ours. Don't know if that actually is better or worse, but you know, they can turn on what goes viral and what doesn't. Could China pick our next president if they have this much control? If people are getting their news so much from TikTok, seems like they could. They could. This foreign government could influence our election in a real way, not a made-up way like the last number of years that we talked about. Anyway, let's get to some business news. Instant Brands filed for bankruptcy, proving that even the best pressure cooker sometimes can't handle financial pressure. Bump. Like I said, I got to do at least one dad joke every show. Instant Brands, the maker of Pyrex glassware and Instant Pot pressure cookers, has filed for bankruptcy due to high interest rates, tighter credit conditions, and a declining consumer demand. The company plans to continue operating while undergoing restructuring and has secured $132 million in financing. Instant Brands experienced a decrease in sales as consumers shifted their spending away from home goods during the pandemic. S&P Global downgraded its rating after a significant drop in first quarter net sales. In January, the company settled a case with the Federal Trade Commission over false advertising claims. So, this doesn't surprise me that much. Instant Pot, I think, has had too much success too quickly. Everybody I know went out and bought one of these Instant Pots. I bought one. I think I bought the Bachelor version, which is smaller. But it works well for me. And the thing is, these things are going to last a couple of years. So if everybody bought one, you got to come up with some new products if you want to sustain that momentum. Everybody's got a pressure cooker now. And we haven't had the pressure cookers long enough for them to be disposed of. They really haven't come up with any awesome new features that you need to replace your old pressure cooker with. So, I don't know, it kind of makes sense. These things go in cycles. But Pyrex is fantastic. I have a number of glass storage containers with the Pyrex lids that I use for leftovers and whatnot. I hope they stick around because it's really quality stuff. But that's just a business is tough all around. And I think as we shift our spending habits, more and more businesses are going to suffer. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this? Do you use the Instant Pot? I do for... I think it's best. I really do a good pork tenderloin in the Instant Pot. Seems to be the best way, easiest way to cook for me. Throw in some kraut in there, I'll chop it up, throw it in, and it turns out to be a pretty good meal. But let me know your thoughts on this. And let's get to some good news. You know, folks, they say that the key to success is starting early, and nobody embodies that more than Connor McClain. I mean, she's been doing gymnastics since she was in diapers. While the rest of us were struggling to tie our shoelaces, Connor was already mastering somersaults and dismounts. Turns out her first words were, "stick the landing." So, here's the story. Connor McClain, a young gymnast who proclaimed her goal of winning the all-around gold medal in the 2024 Summer Olympics when she was 11 years old. Now she's 18, and she's 1 year away from the Olympic trials. Now, despite facing some personal challenges, McClain returned to gymnastics and won the Winter Cup Challenge. She also made history by being part of the first trio of black women to sweep the podium at the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. McClain underwent surgery and rehab for a back injury, but remains focused on her Olympic aspirations. She's shown incredible talent and determination, living up to the belief Steve Harvey expressed in her years ago. So, this was real cute. She was on Steve Harvey when she was 11 years old. Just this little tiny girl. And she performed for him, and he asked her what her goal was. And she said, "I'm going to win the all-around gold in the 2024 Olympics." And she's on track to make it happen. And that's the important thing is, you know, sometimes you got to call your shot. But here's the amazing thing when you call your shot, right? If you're wrong, it doesn't matter. Everybody forgets. You know, just look at sports shows where they talk about the upcoming game and they say, "Oh, the Heat's going to win it in 5 or whatever," right? And it turns out they're totally wrong. Doesn't matter. Nobody calls them on making bad predictions, right? You make 100 bad predictions, you make one good one, you can eat out on that for the rest of your life, you know? So that's it. If you got a goal, go ahead, make a bold claim. Because if you don't make it, doesn't matter. Nobody cares. But I think that this is kind of a fun, positive, good news story about an American girl, called her shot. She's on her way to do it. I think that's some good news. And if you want to see something cute, you can just look up when she was on the Steve Harvey program and watch a little video. Really cute little girl, and she did some amazing routines at 11 years old. So that's a good story. That's some good news. Anyway, stick around for the after show. I'm going to be going through your comments. Hope you all have a beautiful day. And as you go out today, think about the Marilyn Monroe effect. And if you can do it. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Peace. All right. That's what I am today. I am going to make an all-right custom emote that I will be putting on Rumble. So if you're live on Rumble, you can click on the custom emote when I make a mistake and keep saying, all right, eventually I will not have that verbal crutch. So, that's not it. There we go. There we go. How about that? OX_00. Hey, Tom, I commented in comments by mistake instead of live chat about emotional contagion. Well, I will have to see that. I don't... I'm not... I will have to read that later. I don't know how to pull that up. All I can see, the system that I've set up here is I can only see live chat. So, but cool. Yeah, as a reminder, the live chat is different from the chat when you're watching video on demand. So if you're not watching me live, please still leave a comment. I do read them all, and I appreciate you. It does mean a lot if you can hit that like button. Hit that like button. Share this, comment, all the good stuff. Apparently it makes a difference. Everyone else says it, so I guess I'll say it too. Let's just... Interesting, but it does that. Still got to figure that out. Okay, Natasha's checking in. I love it. Oh, we've got a little hibiscus flower, it looks like, and a tiki drink, and a... I love all the fun emojis in the chat. Let's see, Rube's Good Brain Coffee checking in. Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, all. Good to see you. One thing the actors learn is to perform the action and the emotion will naturally follow. One does not try to feel happy when the script calls for it. Perform the action and the emotion follows. That's interesting. I had not heard that, but that does kind of make sense. The traditional Judeo-Christian understanding of people was not that we are souls encased in bodies, but there's no separation between them, so our actions ultimately shape our souls. We're getting deep. We're getting deep today. Natasha says, eye contact and smiling are a rarity these days. People seem to enjoy scowling and grumbling more. I have noticed one thing that I try to do, and you can try this too. I always try to chat up the checker at the grocery store, and I try to make a joke with a person standing in line. You know, often because I'm work alone, I don't have a whole lot of social interaction out in the world. I try to. But when I go to the store, I always try to come up with a little joke, something funny to say to the person standing behind me in line. And the thing is, yeah, the first couple times you do it, you're not very good at it. But again, if you practice this, you get better and better at it. And then it becomes very easy just to say something nice. And sometimes you can brighten someone's day. You really can. You're making the world a better place. So that's what I encourage you to do. Or you can just be a scowling jerk too. We all have free will. We can do whatever we want. Natasha says, I'd love to see Biden removed from office over this Burisma thing. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. That's my prediction, though. TikTok is changing people's attention spans to that of a flea. Perhaps. I'm not totally black-pilled as many are. So I think there's a possibility of something coming of this. However, it will take a lot of public pressure for that to happen. So I think we're talking about the Ukraine story. I just don't... For me, I have to... You know, the best predictor of what will happen in the future is what's happened in the past. Right? So as an example, I'll give you two examples. One example... I'll just get rid of it. One example that we have is, for years we kept hearing, oh, the walls are closing in on Trump. This is the time we're going to get Trump. Trump's going down this time. We've heard that story 100 times, right? But so far, every time that's been wrong. So the best prediction anytime that comes up is to say, well, probably it's not going to happen this time either. It might, though. I mean, we don't know. It could be different this time. But if you got a track record of 100 times of it not working, well, it's probably not going to work again. Probably. And the same thing for Joe Biden. He's avoided all of these controversies. Everything that comes up just gets ignored by the media. So if you want to make a prediction, is the media going to cover this story? Well, they've ignored every other story about his corruption, so they'll probably ignore this one as well. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen, but the best prediction for the future is the past. So I could even do that with my video views, right? On Rumble, I think yesterday I got 300 and something views. So that's the best prediction of what the video is going to do today. It's probably going to be around there, a couple hundred views on Rumble. We'll get, I don't know, 50 views on YouTube. And that's going to be the best prediction. It's not always going to be right, though. It's not always going to be right. I really wish they would teach statistics to everyone. Just some basic statistics in high school for everyone, because that is an important thing. Once you understand how these things work, you can help kind of predict the future much better. Let's see. I guess Pyrex people didn't get the planned obsolescence memo. TrueStream Media did an awesome 2-part video on this type of coercion recently. Yeah, that's the thing with Pyrex. This stuff lasts really long time. You know, so not a good business model, right? Now what we want is we want things to break right away. I've been having issues with my kettle, my electric kettle that I make my coffee with every day. And I can still look up when I bought it on Amazon. So I think I've had it about 5 years. You would think an electric kettle should be able to last longer than that. But now, everything is just kind of disposable. Because you can make a lot more money if your products aren't quite as good. That's, that's one of the bonuses of electric cars, right? They don't last as long. Right? So you just got to keep buying new ones, which is really good for the environment, right? Gymnasts are always so impressive, even if they don't stick the landing. Very true. Very true. These gymnastics are really impressive. Very impressive. Gymnastics has always been impressive to me. Friend of mine in school, he was a gymnast in high school, and then he became a cheerleader in college. And they do a lot of gymnastics. And it's funny, cheerleading is so much more athletic than you may think, just to the casual viewer. But they really are often very good at gymnastics as well. So anyway, lastly, let's see. That reminds me of the electric light conspiracy, which turned out to be true. I don't know of the electric light conspiracy, but that's something that I will have to look into. Frankly, if you want to get me excited about anything, just say, hey, have you heard about the blump blah blump conspiracy? And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard that one. Let's give that a look. And a lot of them turn out to be BS, but some are true. Again, that's another thing that you can do is the best prediction of the future is the past. So some conspiracies are true. Most of them turn out not to be true. Just keep that in mind anytime you hear of one. But I'll check out the electric light conspiracy. That sounds good. Light bulb, that is. I will have to check that out. The borax conspiracy. Don't know about that one either. You all have to stop, because I got enough stuff to look into. Anyway, that's the show that I have for you today. Looks like the streaming went a lot better than it did yesterday. So that's good. And yeah, that's all I got. But I'll be back tomorrow with some more stories. If you are not watching it live, if you're watching the replay, do me a big favor. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. You can do that, and I will respond. Anyway, have a beautiful day. I will catch you all mañana. Peace.